Okay, boys and girls, our learning goal for today and with this video and pretty much for the whole week is going to be being able to find the main topic and key details of an informational text. And the informational text that we're going to be using a lot over this next task is called It's Back to School We Go. And so we're going to practice today in this text, and you're going to learn how we identify the main topic using our key details. Let's get started. Tips for finding topic. Okay, how can we find the main topic of a text? Well, the topic will be one or two words, sometimes a few more, but it's usually a phrase. And when we want to find the main topic, we ask ourselves, what or who is the text all about? It's usually repeated, and some examples are bikes, computers, my sister, plants, dogs. Those are some examples of different main topics that we may find in a text. Now, I'm going to read this passage from the book, It's Back to School We Go, and I want you to listen as I read it aloud. The title is called Aching, and it's an 8-year-old girl from Kenya. Jumbo! Hello, I, Aching, am a Luo girl from Kenya. My parents gave me a name that means sun because I was born at midday. Today, I walked to school and met my teacher and classmates for the first time. Everyone was busy with chores. The girls swept the floor while the boys cut the grass with pangas or machetes. Afterward, we sat on a straw mat and began our lessons. I will learn health, arithmetic, and to read and write in Kiswahili. At noon, it began to rain. The noise of drops hitting the tin roof was so loud that we began to giggle. The teacher stopped talking. When the storm was over, we went outside and I ate mandazi or fried bread for lunch. I love sports, so I played soccer with some of the other children after school. We used 2 termite nests for goal posts. When I got home, I helped my mother tend the shamba, or garden. We are growing cassava, potatoes, and beans. Tonight we will eat red bean stew for dinner. Then grandmother will tell us stories about lion, hyena, and the other African animals. Now, as I read that out loud, boys and girls, what words kept repeating? What does that tell us this passage is all about? So there were some things that Aching kept telling us about her life. And what were those? Let's see. Oh, I know. Here's one. She said, today I walked to school and met my teacher and classmates. So there's a detail that I learned about Aching. Another one, everyone was busy with chores. Oh, wow. Okay. Girls swept the floor while the boys cut the grass. There's another detail about her life. And while they were at school, they sat on a straw mat, and that's where they learned their lessons. Okay. At noon, it began to rain, and the noise of drops hitting the tin roof was so loud that the students began to giggle. And the teacher, had to stop talking. Wow, they have a tin roof, and when it rains, it's really loud. That must be hard for them, especially the teacher. She can't teach because it's so loud. Well, after reading that text and finding some really great details, I'm going to use this main topic and key detail organizer to help me find the main topic of the text by using key details that I learned. So watch how I do that. Here's my organizer. Now, the first key detail that I remember learning from Aching was that the students had to walk to school to meet their teacher. Wow, okay, I remember that. And then the girls swept the floor and the boys cut the grass while they were at school. Wow. And then my last detail here says, what is a challenge they face? And when we think of a challenge, we think of something that may be hard for these students. So as I was reading, and I underlined some key details, this is a challenge that I thought they faced while they were at school. When it rained, the teacher had to wait to teach until the storm ended because they had a tin roof. And I remember reading that it was hard for the teacher to teach because it was so loud. Now, when I think about all those key details, students had to walk to school to meet their teacher, the girls swept the floor and the boys cut the grass, and when it rained, the teacher had to wait to teach until the storm ended because they had a tin roof. What are all of these details talking about or teaching me as the reader? That will help me figure out the main topic. Well, this is what I said, boys and girls. That all of those details were telling me it was about school life in Africa. And that's what the main topic was. Now we're going to practice another example. Here we go. Children in Kenya. I'm going to read it again, but this is a different part of the text. Some Kenyans live in huts on small plots of land where they grow corn, potatoes, cassava, pineapples, and mangoes. Others live in modern cities. Children go to school 6 days a week from January to November. The students help keep the school clean. In the classroom, they sit on a straw mat or share a desk. Books and paper are scarce. Kenyans love to play soccer. They sometimes use a bundle of rags for a ball and a termite nest for a goalpost. They also enjoy basketball, volleyball, and a board game called Mancala. That is played with seeds or shells. Elephants, leopards, cheetahs, monkeys, lions, and zebras make their home in Kenya. Kenyans enjoy telling stories about these animals. Now, as I read that, I was thinking about what are all of these details teaching me? What does this author want me to learn? Well, I noticed that there's a little subtitle or a heading here, and it says Children in Kenya. So I'm wondering if all of these details support this subtitle here. Because remember, the title of our main book was called It's Back to School We Go. But when we read nonfiction, sometimes in a nonfiction book, in different sections, you will be given a subtitle or a heading that helps the reader understand what they're going to read. Now, I underlined my first detail here, and it says some Kenyans live in huts on small plots of land. I have another detail that says students help keep the school clean. Okay. And then I have another detail that says they sit on a straw mat or share a desk, and books and paper are scarce. Wow, that means that there's not a lot of them. Scarce means very little. And the boys and girls use a bundle of rags for a ball and a termite nest for a goalpost to play soccer. Guess they're creative and use the resources that they have near them. Now here's my main topic organizer again, and I'm going to think about the key details that I found to help me understand what that section was mostly about. Let's see what I found. The first detail says, some Kenyans live in huts on small plots of land. This detail 2, students help keep the school clean. And finally, I found a challenge that they face, and it's that students play soccer with a bundle of rags. They don't even have a soccer ball, but they're very resourceful and they use the materials they have so that they can have fun. Now, what do all these 3 details have to teach me about, or what do they all have in common? They all have to teach me about, or they all teach me about life in Kenya. And that was my main topic of that section of the text. Now remember, boys and girls, when you practice this on your own, you want to read it or listen to the teacher reading it and think about what are those important details or facts the author's trying to teach you, and that will help you find the main topic of the text. Good job, boys and girls.